Welcome to the School of International Studies.
This experience will be invaluable for these students to be very competitive in this global world.
In order to understand in depth, you have to know what is currently going on in the world, what are the people's thinking, what are the actual actors in the world.
I was always worried about what's going on in the world in a global scene. This faculty is the one that allows to really look through the world, look in general and the picture, see it as a big one and then contribute to it.
So the subject matter is international studies, which the core discipline is really international relations, which is a subfield of political science, but international studies is really multidisciplinary, especially history is a really important part of it. So international relations and history are sort of the two core disciplines, but it also includes sociology, anthropology, cultural studies, economics, kind of that's all included in international studies. So when I approach the discipline here, the first thing we do is we train students in theory and methods. So we want the students to have a good grounding in theories. So in the discipline of international studies, when we talk about theory, there's sort of three main approaches. With realism, liberalism, and constructivism. So realism is the assumption that sort of rooted in ideas about human nature that people are basically self-interested. You need to lock your doors. You need strong defense when we're talking about nations. That strong nations do what they can. Weak nations accept what they must. That's a famous quote from one thinker. So we look at that. Is that really the way the world works? That's one of the basic ideas of realism. You need a strong defense. No one's going to come to help you. You can't call the police. There are no police. This is international society, not domestic society. Liberalism is based on sort of liberal principles that, as trading, economic issues are important. The idea that if we trade together, we have more ties to each other, which means the costs of going to war are higher. So it's the idea that international trade, WTO, all these things kind of create this environment where we're more interdependent, which means the costs of fighting each other is higher because it hurts trade, it hurts the economy. So, and then also with liberalism is the idea of this notion of democratic peace, which is that it's this argument that democracies don't fight each other. They might fight others, but they don't fight each other. So that if democracy expands in the world theoretically would be a more peaceful place because democracies don't have an interest really in fighting against each other for various reasons we can talk about. The last one is constructivism, which is sort of, it's not saying nations aren't self-interested, but it's questioning what are the driving motivations of nations, why they do what they do. And they argue that maybe ideational issues like identity or perceptions or values and beliefs and ideologies, that those things tell the story better than just pure brute material interests and power like realism, or trade and democracy like liberalism. It's the idea that how you see yourself as a nation or as a people shapes how you're going to act in the international milieu, and so studies on identity, perceptions of the other, maybe cultural attributes would have a bigger role here, things like that. So those are sort of the three core principles or theoretical approaches that we use